Let me ask you about developments in the investigation into your email server. Apparently the FBI has contacted your team in terms of talking to you. What can you tell us about that?
No one has reached out to me yet, but last summer, I think last August, I made it clear I'm more than ready to talk to anybody, anytime. And I've encouraged all of my assistants and to be very forthcoming, and I hope that this is close to being wrapped up.
So nobody said, Hillary Clinton, we'd like to sit down and talk to you from the FBI?
Not at this point.
If there is this moment where voters are looking now in a general election context, they're thinking of you versus Donald Trump, some voters may be paying attention now in a different kind of way. What's your answer to those people who think, gee, FBI inquiry, that's a big deal? What do you say to them?
I say what I've said now for many, many months. It's a security inquiry. I always took classified material seriously. There was never any material marked classified that was sent or received by me, and I look forward to this being wrapped up.
What about people who think, well, she might be president? What does she learn from this whole process?
Well, that was a mistake, and I have said that, and I will say it again as often as I need to. It seemed like a convenient idea at the time that certainly wasn't, and so I always take classified material seriously. There's no argument about that I'm aware of, and I will continue to do so, and within whatever parameters are required for the president, which I know a little bit about, having served with President Obama.
Is there a broader lesson, though, outside of email, just in terms of just a broader lesson that comes out of this process?
Well, look, I think that if you don't keep learning, you're going to stagnate and just not move forward. And I know I've got to do my very best to answer any questions that are raised about me in any context. I've been doing that for 25 years, so I do have a lot of experience with it. But I also think it's fair that anybody who is vying to be president be asked the same hard questions. You know, I've got 33 years of tax returns in the public domain, and you know, Donald Trump won't release his tax returns, and his claim they're being audited just by any analysis doesn't hold up. So what's there? And he owes it to the American people, and the press owe it to us to make sure that those kinds of questions are posed to everybody.
A general election voter will know when Hillary Clinton's in the office and a convenient option arrives, maybe she'll think twice about it?
Well, you know, as I have said many times, you know, that was absolutely permitted, and I did it, and it turned out to be a mistake. It wasn't the best choice. And if you look at, though, the very difficult decisions that I was involved in, even as Secretary of State, putting together the sanctions on Iran that led us to the negotiations that put a lid on their nuclear weapons program, ending one of the conflicts in Gaza by negotiating a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. You can look at my record, and you can see that, you know, we just passed the 5th anniversary about bin Laden. I have a very serious and very focused approach to taking care of the nation's business. And I did it as senator, I did it as Secretary of State, and you'll even find a lot of Republicans who, when I was in those jobs, were saying nice things about me.
David Ignatius has a piece in the Washington Post, speaking of foreign policy, where he suggests that Donald Trump is pulling away from U.S. commitments abroad. Is part of this campaign going to be you making the case for why the United States has to have a very active role overseas?
Well, I will certainly stand up for what I think American values, interests, and our security require. I don't see Donald Trump having any kind of coherent foreign policy or theory of national security. He kind of makes statements that I find concerning, whether it's about nuclear weapons or torture or anything else. So I think the burden is really on him to try to make a case why, when you've had 70 years of American policy under both Republicans and Democrats trying to prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons, he is so cavalier, even reckless and dangerous about how he talks when it comes to nuclear weapons.
Secretary Clinton, thanks so much.
Thanks, John.